camera devices have been able to capture the best and funniest moments that have happened in certain situations. However, cameras have also captured the most disturbing and creepiest scenarios such as natural disasters, violent attacks, disappearances, and many more. Hello, my name's Bootsers, and in today's video, I'm going to show you 10 of the most unsettling things that were caught on camera. So get ready to sit back, relax, and hopefully enjoy the video. This video will go into dark topics including assault, murders, death, and many more. So if you're already in a bad mental state or extremely uncomfortable about the situation, I strongly advise you to please skip this video. On the 8th of September 2022, a door cam clip was posted onto YouTube and TikTok to highlight the importance of locking your doors and to warn others to be cautious of their surroundings. As seen in the footage, it reveals a mother and her son just trying to enter their house. However, once they were into their house and closed the door, a strange man is seen following them and trying to enter their home. Luckily, right before the man was able to reach for the door handle, the mother made sure to lock the door.
Go shower really fast. I need you to go shower. Please, Daniel. Who's that?
The man is seen to repeatedly move the handle to unlock the door, whilst also trying to look through the door to see where the mother and the son are. But in doing so, the mother was able to hear it and then shouted at the man to get away from the house. The man proceeds to back away with a disturbing blank expression on his face and then stands in front of the door until the clip ends. What happened after the clip ended was that the mother dialed for the police, but when the cops arrived, the man was nowhere to be seen. To my knowledge, the identity of this creepy man is still unknown, as well as where he originally came from. There have been assumptions that the man was waiting for the two and was going to attack them before they entered. But true or not, this door cam clip is incredibly disturbing, and it just makes me wonder what would have happened if the mother didn't lock the door on time. On September the 16th, 2011, there was an event called the Reno National Champion Air Races that was occurring, in which allows thousands of fans were able to see an up-close viewing of aviators performing a world-class air show in their aircraft. However, on this day, it was a traumatic experience that no one would ever forget.
Oh my god.
The reason for this accident was that the aircraft went 40 miles over its initial limits, and due to that, it caused the aircraft's bolts that hold up an important component to break, leading the aircraft to flail aimlessly. The devastating plane crash resulted in killing the pilot, James Leeward, 10 other people on the ground, and causing 69 civilians being injured or hospitalized. What made it unsettling was that this occurred without warning, and what was supposed to be a fun, entertaining event drastically turned into a catastrophic, traumatizing accident. Without any context of this clip, you'll probably just assume that these two individuals are simply walking to their destination. However, the reasoning for reaching the destination is much more horrific. The two individuals in this clip are at the time 18-year-old Devon Erickson and 16-year-old Alec McKinney. And what they were doing was carrying guns and walking their way to STEM School Highlands Ranch to cause a school shooting. It is seen that they deliberately arrived at the back entrance of the school to prevent attention to themselves, and both went different ways to execute their part of the plan. The school shooting resulted in the death of a student, Kendrick Ray Castillo, being fatally shot, and other students suffering from significant but non-life-threatening injuries. There was additional CCTV footage that was used in court that highlighted how they were both detained by the police and utilized the evidence in order to convict them both to go to jail. Even after everything that happened, it still disturbs me how both didn't even seem hesitant to execute their plans, and in fact looked calm about scarring the lives of hundreds of students in the school. This footage was released on October the 20th, 2021, but the body cam footage of the police officer, Duc Vo, initially happened on May the 5th, 2021. It revealed how during the evening, Vo responded to a call after a car broke down on Atlanta's busiest highways. Vo then arrived at the location and parked his patrol car behind a stranded car to gather details in order to assist the civilian with the broken car.
Thomas resident.
From what you saw, Vo was suddenly hit by another car that plowed into the back of him and his patrol car at an extremely high speed. This was as a result of the other car being driven by a drunk driver who was recklessly speeding for unknown reasons and was rightfully arrested and charged with a DUI and reckless driving. The effects of the accident on Officer Vo caused him to have serious injuries and severe damage to his body, which led him to be hospitalized. The Atlanta Police Department has stated that Vo is alive, but also expresses that even after the accident, Vo hasn't fully recovered from his injuries. There haven't been any recent updates to the situation, but the latest thing I could find was that Vo received a Purple Heart for his services, and I really hope by now he has successfully recovered from his accident. During the evening of February 12, 2018, cops in the UK Police Department released footage of a 15-year-old girl hiding behind a wall to prevent a group of hooded thugs from assaulting her. In the beginning, it already shows the chaos of the situation as people are running for their dear life and away from the hooded group. You can see that one of the people running is a teenage girl and that she tried to pass through the cars but ended up hitting one of them and tumbling over a small ledge. She quickly uses the strategy to hide behind the wall to prevent the group from finding them. The hooded individual stumbled on the street, wondering where she and the others went for a few seconds until they decided to go in the opposite direction. During the same time, the girl is remaining stiff as she knew that if she remotely made a move, it could cost her her life. As the group went to the opposite direction, she slowly glanced up to see if they were gone and speed walked away from the area. But after the footage ends, the story doesn't stop there. A few hours after this occurred, the teenage girl was later attacked so severely that she ended up being taken to the hospital. There was a speculation that occurred that the only reason why the group attacked her was because she killed two of the members of the group. But the people who claimed that did not provide any sufficient evidence for it, so I kinda believe that it's bullshit. Nonetheless, just seeing the teenage girl hiding from a gang assault, or even worse in that moment, is incredibly terrifying to watch, and I can't even imagine the amount of fear she felt in that situation. This footage was of a personal terrifying experience from a user that sent it and then was posted to Mr. Nightmare's channel. The story starts off with Mr. Nightmare setting the scene in Firestone, Colorado and providing details about how the user and his girlfriend lived in a nice home together. But during a typical night where the user was home alone, he was in the living room when suddenly an abrupt loud noise started to occur. He tried to determine where it originated from and found out that as he moved to his kitchen, he was able to hear the noise getting closer and closer to him, leading him to determine that it was coming from the crawlspace. Thinking that it was some type of animal like a raccoon, he kept on recording on his phone as he started to descend into the crawlspace. As he continued to go through the crawlspace, it can be seen that so far there was nothing out of the ordinary, just a few cardboard boxes and garbage bags on the side of the walls. He continued to walk in the crawlspace until suddenly stopping as he started hearing the noise again. A man in black clothing appears to be hiding on the left side of the wall, either waiting for the user to leave or even wait to attack the user as soon as he came closer. Due to the user being so scared for his life, he accidentally ended the clip, causing no more footage to be shown. Mr. Nightmare goes on to highlight that the user ran back to the entrance of the crawlspace, but his foot was grabbed by the hooded man trying to pull him back down. Luckily, the user was able to successfully kick his way out and close the crawlspace door. But due to the entrance not having a lock, he quickly grabbed a knife for defense and hid himself in the bathroom. As soon as he locked the door, he was able to dial for the police, but while doing so, the user could hear the crawlspace door open and hear footsteps of the hooded man getting closer to the bathroom door. But I guess due to the opportunity, the hooded man ran and left through the front door of the house. The police then arrived and did a brief investigation and a report regarding the incident. Once the user's girlfriend heard of this news, she refused to go anywhere near the house as she strongly believed that it was her abusive ex-boyfriend that was in the crawlspace. Due to the hooded individual being covered up, there wasn't any evidence that could remotely prove that it was the ex-boyfriend. This traumatizing experience sadly led to both the user and his girlfriend having to constantly look over their shoulder out of fear of ever seeing that hooded man again. On November the 30th, 2018, a couple, Brian and Laura Swenson, were casually driving on a dirt road until they saw something that completely shocked their core. While driving through this road to reach the destination, the couple spotted a white van passing through to then be shocked to see a three-man group of Wielding thugs trying to rob cars and loot all their personal belongings.
What's happened here? Drive forward, crushes.
Just drive forward. Drive forward. Hey!
Due to Lauren's quick thinking, it allowed her and Brian to escape freely without sustaining any injuries to themselves. It is assumed that the white van passing through was possibly another set of victims trying to escape from the robbers. These three individuals were never found nor identified as they were covered up from head to toe, but I hope that they were at least punished for these crimes and face the repercussions. The disappearance and death of Elisa Lam is still one of the most famous cases in internet history, as there haven't been any form of concrete evidence to determine what happened during the series of events and how it led to her lifeless body being found in a water tank. On February 14, 2013, the Los Angeles Police Department released the footage of Elisa Lam inside the elevator of the Cecil Hotel. The security camera from inside the elevator was able to reveal that Elisa had pressed most of the numbers on the elevator levels before pausing and then frantically looking both sides of the elevator, trying to see if anything was out there. Elisa proceeds to go back and forth in the elevator for unknown reasons until she proceeds to act even more oddly as she starts moving her arms in obscure motion. Once done, she then walks off to the left of the elevator, and interestingly, the elevator finally shuts off after 3 minutes of being opened. And from that segment, that was the last moments of Elisa Lam being seen alive. There have been countless amount of conspiracies of what happened to Elisa and why she was acting odd in these clips, going from playing the elevator game, suffering from mental illnesses, being stalked by something, and so on and so on. It could be any or none of these theories whatsoever, as there is no proof to back up these claims. All I know is that Elisa seemed incredibly scared in these clips, and I wish that there was anything to do to help in determining what truly happened to her in that moment and how it led to her being found floating lifelessly in the hotel's water tank. Within this video, it is seen that there is a man named Sandeep Nathwani with his mother, Jashreen Nathwani. For more context, the mother had been suffering from a brain hemorrhage in early September of 2017. After being hospitalized, the stroke left her paralyzed in the leg, which is seen in the clip as she isn't able to stand up or walk on her own, and as a result, the son had to attend to her ail and help her do her daily routine, which caused him to get extremely frustrated with the kind of attention his mother needed. Sandeep did not wish to attend his ailing mother anymore. As seen throughout the clip, he took his mother to the terrace of the 4th floor of their apartment building, and once they reached the top, he pushed her to her death. Sandeep casually came back to his apartment and stated to the police that his mother had committed suicide. For 3 entire months, the police believed his statement until an unknown caller told the police a different perspective of the event. This call led to the police department reviewing the building's CCTV footage and saw that the mother had problems with walking. So how would she be able to walk all the way up to the 4th floor? This new evidence that came to light was able to match with the caller and disprove what Sandeep initially said, so this led to him being arrested and charged with the murder of his own mother. I couldn't find any information if he went to jail or not, but I really do hope that this prick is serving life in the rotten cell. On April 8, 2000, Yuri Lipski attempted to do a bounce dive at a water site called the Blue Hole. This basically meant that he was going to do a fast ascent to go to a certain water depth, and then followed by an immediate ascent back to the surface. In the diving community, it is known to be very dangerous even if the diver has a lot of experience and was carefully planned. Yuri apparently mentioned that he was going to do the dive and was repeatedly warned against it by other divers. In summary, he starts his descent to reach the bottom, and after a few minutes, he successfully was able to achieve on reaching the sea floor of the Blue Hole. Out of excitement, he shows his dive watch to the GoPro as proof of his depth to later show to other divers when he returns to the surface. Unfortunately, due to him staying in the deep depth of the Blue Hole for quite a while, he begins to panic as he started to become delirious. Yuri realizes that he is essentially fucked if he doesn't ascend back to the surface, so he tries to use various ways to assist him reach back to the top. As his mind starts to disorientate and worsen due to staying down there, he stumbles and thrashes around while his air tank was almost at the point of being completely empty. As Yuri continues to panic, his breaths are becoming more short and infrequent and starts to become unconscious. The GoPro then turned, looking down at the abyss of the sea until it eventually cuts. Shortly after the video cuts, Yuri sadly passes away. His body was later discovered by one of the foremost deep sea divers, Tarek Omar. Tarek additionally found out that the camera was still intact with Yuri's body and was shocked that the camera was still filming as Tarek brought Yuri back to the surface. Yuri's mum and Tarek reviewed the footage, and it was devastating to know that the mum's last memories of Yuri is him slowly and horrifically dying.